Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds, and this is a big moment for us. Michael, Austin, and I are here for our official kickoff to our Australian Survivor coverage. Australian Survivor Brains versus Brawn 2 draft. So, really excited for this. What are your guys' thoughts as we kick this off finally?
I'm just so excited to be getting more Survivor Australia. It's been like so long. It feels like years. Like
I know.
Ferris, feels like an old school winner to me. It's been that long since we've had Survivor Australia.
I know, it's so crazy. Austin, your thoughts?
I mean, I almost feel like I watched more of this version than the US. So, I mean, I'm excited to partake in this. I've never done a draft, and I don't even know who most of this cast is. So this is going to be really fun because I'm hoping I pick people that somehow I can be attached to and not hate. I don't want to pick someone and go damn, I hate this person. So,
Right.
I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Australian Survivor in general, though. I've definitely been watching the past few seasons live, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So before we get into this, anybody listening, watching, go subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. So definitely do that as we kick everything off here. For the rules here, so we already randomized the order of the draft. It is going to be a snake draft. So basically whoever picks third is then going to get to pick a second person in a row, and then, snake around the second person, or the person in the middle is literally going to get gangbanged, as we jokingly referred to.
That's my line.
And the order is me first, then Austin, then Michael. So Austin, I'm sorry, you're stuck in the middle for this draft.
Hey, I'm the meat. You guys are the bread. What can I say?
So basically, we'll go through the Brains tribe first, and then the Brawn tribe. It'll just make it easier for you all to follow as we go through this. Yeah, anything else, you guys, before we get this started?
Let's get to it. I'm kind of in the same boat as Austin, where I've not looked into this at all. I like to go in as spoiler-free as I can, so I'm going purely on vibes here. So it could be fun.
Yeah. I literally have a list of just the names and faces. That's what I'm going off of.
Yeah. All right, well, let's kick this off with the Brains tribe. Gender does not matter, so we can end up with mostly guys, mostly girls through this whole thing. So, all right. Well, I had to pick someone I knew I was going to pick when the promos came out. My nerdy boy. I got to pick Miles from the Brains tribe. I think Miles is going to be fantastic to watch. His promos, he's the Golden Foot. We've had the Golden God, obviously, and David. I guess he's missing his foot now. And I'm very excited to watch Miles. What are your guys' thoughts on Miles?
I mean, he's probably the one I've seen the most, to be honest. So it's a good pick. I mean, he seems like he's got the energy to play. He's kind of like the nerdier archetype, you know what I mean? And I mean, they do either pretty good or they, get shot out pretty quick. So I'm excited to see how the edit of like the little videos I've seen of him so far kind of shake out because Australian Survivor likes to throw curveballs and like
Right.
showcase a certain person like 90% of the time the first few episodes and then bam they're gone. So I
Right.
mean I could see Miles doing well personally. So
Yeah, for sure. Michael?
Yeah, he was going to be one of my first picks. I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'd pick him, maybe not. Not super excited about him. And then turns out not only is he a statistics guy, he's a pole dancer. That was
Yes.
an unexpected twist in his bio. That's the biggest like sharp left turn I've seen in a Survivor bio.
what did you
Like when
just
you
say?
look at him, I never expected pole dancer to be part of his skills.
Pole dancer. Wow, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
that takes
don't know how that's going to translate into Survivor, but
right.
maybe it'll be helpful.
I mean, that takes a lot of core strength to be able to do that. So, I don't know. I'm very interested in Miles and his skill sets. So, all right, Austin, you've got the second pick from
I'm
the
sorry, I'm just reading his bio. He literally says it's one of my hobbies and that's that I like to do.
yeah,
And it's totally out of left field that people don't think of. Okay, hey, I get it.
yeah. I
100%.
don't even think people will look at him and see that. So like, it's a hidden thing for him. All
I would
right.
imagine so.
Austin, you're up for your first pick from the Brains Tribe. You got 11 picks or 11 options left.
All right, so this is one of the only other people I've really been paying attention to. She caught my eye because I'm more of an athlete type person, and I learned that her husband plays, what's the sport over there? Is it rugby? No. Is it rugby?
AFL, baby.
The AFL, yeah. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the AFL, but I'm going with Logan. I thought she could do pretty damn well. I She was like one of the only other bios I really read before this and knew of. And I mean, when I'm going for a first pick, I'm obviously picking someone I think could go long term and I think could do well. I mean, she's got the good looks that she can probably play off pretty well. I mean, she seems pretty smart. And I mean, from the video I seen, she had a good what's the word I'm looking for? She had a good mind for what she was trying to do strategically in the game. So I was kind of bought in on her and I'm excited to watch her play. So I'm gonna go with her as my first pick.
That's a good pick. I think Logan kind of reminds me of Shawnee a little bit. And Shawnee in her first season was like a pro skater's wife. Like that was her job title. So it's kind of similar to that. And also similar to in the US Survivor seasons of Monica Culpepper, that she was just Brad Culpepper's wife. um, so yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think she's definitely a really good pick.
Yeah, I think like people like that where they have a famous spouse and that's someone that they maybe live in the shadow of, they always have that like something to prove mentality of this is her chance now to, stand on her own 2 feet and be in the spotlight. So I think she's going to make the most of that. And it says in her bio, she's been committed all of her life just to, raising her kids and being the homemaker and the family person, and this is her chance to go out and play Survivor. So I think it's an opportunity she's really going to grab with both hands, and I could see her doing really well. I think she's someone that if she can get through the early like few rounds, she could have a long future in the game. Survivor Australia, one downside is very challenge heavy, so we'll have to see how she does in them. So often first, second, third boots are based very much on the challenges. So if she can survive that early kind of in onslaught of we sometimes versus rebels, it doesn't have to always go that way though. So who knows? Maybe the women will get a fair shake of it, and I could definitely see her making merge. And if she makes merge, I could see her making it like super deep into the game.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, like last season, Titans versus the Rebels, we literally saw Frankie be the first boot, and she was one of the strongest women on the cast. So, like, it could go very, very differently than we think. Um, All right, Michael, your first pick from the Brains tribe. So you get third pick and you get fourth pick.
I'm so happy because I had a wild card pick that was right at the top of my list, but I didn't want to waste my first pick and lose someone I wanted. But now I get to take them as like a second option. So my first draft pick, screw it, because I'm going to get the one I actually want in the next one. I'm going with the witch. We have a witch on the cast,
Laura.
guys, an actual witch.
Yes.
So she's going to be able to work everything out. Laura is the witch.
Yes.
Let's find a thing here. She Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. But she can read people's energies and she can see their aura by seeing little colors above people's heads that tell me what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and how they're handling a situation. It's like a skill I'll be using that here, sure. A little purple aura. So if she can read people's auras and see little purple lights over their head when she's going to get blindsided, that is a very important skill to be able to have in Survivor. So I'm taking the witch. I'm taking Laura.
I wonder if she's gonna be like the Scarlet Witch, be like Wanda Maximoff, and be able to just warp reality.
So
Austin, your thoughts on Laura?
I mean, I seen that there was a witch on the cast, and I didn't really look too much into her, but I'm trying to read the players as we go here, and I hope she doesn't come off too annoying. I mean, she's a Gen Zer. I didn't know the witch of the season was young. I mean, it could go two ways. She could be on a tribe where they're just completely like, dude, you're a loony bin, or she could go on the tribe and they're like, dude, you're like down to earth, you know, full of energy. So really, it's like you said, wild card's a great terminology for how I see her, because I mean, it could go in multiple ways. I mean, if she the one really good thing with witches and anyone in the whole psych universe, they can obviously read well. And I mean, you touched on that, but communication and like looking in the future and aspects of am I going to get played here is like huge with the game of Survivor. So if she's actually really good at it, I mean, it could absolutely benefit her in this game. I just hope that her actual social connections with people like are good, because that's gonna screw her if she's looked at as a loony bin. So.
Yeah, I'm worried for her. But we've also seen like big characters that you wouldn't expect do very well in this game. So it could go either way. I think I need to see how her strategic game is more than anything too, because I'm not sure if that strategic mindset is going to be there either, but we'll have to see.
Hey, as long as she's fun, I mean, that's what Survivor is at the end of the day, right?
That's true.
Watching some fun characters try to do fun stuff. I mean, she sounds like she's gonna be. So,
That's true.
I mean, she has Survivor challenges in her backyard too. So, I mean, she's diehard on this.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So, maybe I don't need to be worried.
and I think you really need to focus here because
Yep.
she also has over 250 crystals. Like that is something that's going to help her a lot. How many crystals do you guys have? Do you have any crystals?
I think I
No.
have two.
250 crystals. That's Soul Survivor right there.
What is this, Crash Bandicoot?
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say
collecting
power
all
crystals.
those.
I might have some of those, but
Maybe it'll help. I don't know. Okay. So my next pick, I'm so torn because there's two that I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Max. I'm gonna even it up. Male and female. Jake looks upset. That's
he was
sorry,
gonna be my
Jake.
next pick. So
Yeah, I'm sure my next pick won't be there when it gets back to me, so it'll even out. But I think we've already seen when I hear school teacher, I think of Nick Idanza and I think
yes,
of Grayson Waller, aka Matt from Champions vs Contenders 2. School
yes,
teachers have done okay on the show, and I don't know. He seems like someone who, especially on the Brains tribe as well, he seems pretty strong. Um, and when you're on a season that is based very much on a team of Goliaths and the nerds, it works in your favor to be, somewhat useful in a challenge. So I think maybe he'll survive the early game by being useful in those challenges. And he seems like someone that's going to have good social connections. And I'd be surprised if he goes before Merge.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Max because I feel like he's also going to be a really fun character. He's literally called Mad Max. Like he is the promos have been hyping that up about him. I think he's going to be really, really fun. And I guess on other drafts, they've shared like clips from his social media, and he literally does like weird reenactments. I think he did one where he was like acting like a dog, and so um, he is going to be an interesting character. So that's why I was going to pick him for that reason. But that's a good pick.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about
I
the witch
mean,
pick? Was that good?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
hey, you got two big characters. I think that's a good sign. Austin.
Oh no, I was gonna say is I don't know too much about Max. I'm trying to read a little bit of him, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean the dude seems like he's been a super fan for a while. After I read that he's been watching this since he was a kid with his dad, I started thinking, oh, that's probably a good pick because this dude's like the players who are really super fans are like usually the ones that I enjoy watching. So I'm already like ready to be enjoying Max's gameplay and. I heard you say something about teachers. I definitely agree with that. From what I've seen, like teachers do pretty well. I mean, it's like the complete opposite of what I was saying with the witches, right? Teachers are like complete social beasts. So like they literally are there to be there for kids, their parent. Like, I mean, they have all those social cues. Maybe that's like the vice versa of your two picks right there. Like the teacher or Max might not be there being able to analyze like the witch is going to be analyzing, but the connections might be there with Max. Who knows? Maybe that's a duo. That'd be really funny, actually.
Yeah.
Teacher and the witch. People don't compare those jobs often enough.
But yeah, I like the comparison to like Nick Idanza and Grayson Waller, like just other teachers. They did about the same in their seasons, I think, too. So they made it either right before merge or like Nick made it to first jury member. So they do decently well. So I'm excited to see how Max does. All right, Austin, you've got pick number 5 from the Brains Tribe.
All right, so a lot of people know if people know me that watch this, they know that I'm a huge fantasy football player. And the one lesson I've always learned in drafting is you always draft the person you think the person in front of you is going to draft if you want them. So I'm between two people right now that I really, really want on my team. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think Jake's going to take my number one that I want at 2 here. So I'm going to go with my number 2 that I want, and we'll just risk it for the biscuit and see what happens. So I have a soft spot for these type of players. I usually always root for them. I'm going with AJ, the poker player.
My God. I was like really thinking of going with AJ. That is like a good pick. I might have had one guy above him, but I think AJ, I was really liking again being a poker player and having some strategic sense. And he's a gamer, so it sounds like so. That's good.
Yep. I mean, poker players, again, they either crash out real quick because they try to overplay a hand or they can get pretty far. I mean, the poker players I've seen, sometimes they're a little douchey. That's what I like. I like douchey players sometimes, and I'm hoping AJ isn't the type of cocky, arrogant poker player that, again, overplays his hand early or pisses people off. I'm hoping he's the strategic type of poker player who, is calm, understands people, plays the more social aspect. That's kind of what I'm looking at for AJ. I mean, he has said a few times, and when I was reading, he wants to be known as the best player, not only in Australia, but of all survivors. So, I mean, when you're hyping yourself up like that, I'm expecting some fun out of you, and I'm expecting to enjoy watching AJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you say that you want to be the greatest player who ever played Survivor, I'm expecting you to be Andy.
Yes.
We have been through this. Andy said the exact same thing. When I read AJ's bio, I was like, this guy's going to be Andy. And also, I was hesitant on him because I was really torn. And yeah, poker players are very hit and miss on Survivor. Like Garrett and Kagayan and
Yeah,
Jean Robert and China, Jackie in Australia. But George is also a poker player, but he doesn't like
right,
call himself. He's not like he doesn't make that his
right.
bio. I feel like people that come out here saying I'm a poker champion always suck.
Yeah, or Anna Kate from Co-Ron, I believe was another one who didn't do well either. So, um, yeah,
Real Buck the Trend.
yeah, hopefully we'll see.
All entertaining though. That's what
Yeah.
I'm looking for. We're entertaining over on Team Goat. All right.
Very true, very true. All right, so I guess I have the next two picks to go. And I thought this guy had a little bit of funny things in the promo. You see him going kaboom in one of them, or saying, "These are my people, these are my fam." He's a film director. I'm going with Rich as my next pick. I think Rich is going to be fun. I think he's also going to be the guy that's like trying to band people together, and like I think he could be seen as a leader in that sense. So maybe a bit wary of or worried for him there, but I think it's also a very good thing to be able to do that for people. So I'm hopeful that Rich can do really well, and I like again someone involved with films. Like I think that's cool. So
Yeah, I don't have too many ideals about Rich. I seen that he looks like a pretty out there guy. Hopefully he's not too out there to the point where, again, like the witch, he's annoying. But I mean, I feel like we've seen film guys do pretty decent or at least good in the past. So I mean, at least if we're looking at it from a occupation standpoint, he's probably gonna be in a decent spot.
mhm.
Um, I mean, film people are also out there pretty well, not only as in like their actual like persona, but in the work field, you're always socializing, you're always making connections. So I mean, not only does the dude look kind of like he could be a goofball, fun guy, but I mean, he's probably gonna try to be as connective as possible. So I mean, that's a good pick. I like Rich. He's gonna be a fun one to see what happens with him.
Absolutely, Michael, your thoughts
Yeah,
on Rich?
if he can recreate the success of Mike White, then
Yes,
he's doing pretty well. Rich was going to be he was my second choice of the options left, first male choice of the options left. I shouldn't have teed up who I don't want to be picked. Um, yeah, I really like Rich. I think he could be a a player that makes it deep into the game. He just seems like a fun person as well. Like it was one of the bios that really hit me where I feel like he's going to be a good social player and make those connections. And I could very easily see him going deep. And again, I don't want to harp too much on it, but on seasons like Brains versus Brawn, it really does become a factor. Like having that bit of extra muscle or size and mass
yes,
is really beneficial on the Brains tribe because it's so weighted against them. Excuse me.
yeah,
Oh, that's a good
absolutely.
point too. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back to the original Brains versus Brawn, and you had like Baden, who was like their big muscle, that was on that. Well, I guess they had Mitch as well, but Dr. Mitch, but that was
Mitch.
like that was their muscle, and because they needed to match up against the big people on the Brawn tribe. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Emmett.
yes, Emmett. I mean, you had Simon's a pretty big guy. I mean, Big D. Like, yeah, they had Danny was like their strongest woman. So like, you had a lot of strong people on that tribe in that season. So, all right, and then I get another pick in a row, and I want to get a woman on this team, and this woman seems pretty smart. I'm picking the doctor. I'm picking Karen. So I think she seems like she's gonna be pretty intelligent, and she's wearing duck overalls, so that's pretty fun. So yeah, that's my next pick is Karen.
Hopefully she doesn't act like a Karen. I mean, she'll be the first one out if she is. But no, all jokes aside, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big doctor person, for instance. I usually don't get along with doctors. So if I was out there, her and I probably would not have a great relationship. But other than that, I mean, I could see her doing well. I mean, when you're a doctor, I mean, is she is that what I'm reading? She's a dentist or a surgeon, or
Yeah,
I'm trying to read it. Blah blah blah.
Orthopedic surgery.
or the yeah, yeah,
Okay, so she does surgery. I mean, she's probably really good under pressure, kind of like Suri, like good with her hands, good with, the pressure aspect of the game. That could be a really smart pick if she hones in on those aspects and like has the good social capital. And because I mean, strategy is one thing, but if she's able to hang in there with the strategic minds of this side, like I could see her doing well.
yeah, yeah. Michael.
Everyone keeps sniping my second choice, so that's good. It's moved up. Karen was going to be my next second choice, purely for one quote, which I made me really like her, where she says, "I'm here on Survivor to break bones. I don't want to put things back together. I'm not the good doctor anymore."
Oh
And that
no.
was like my kind of girl. I'm all about it.
Yeah, again, bringing up Dr. Mitch. As long as she's not like a dictator doctor and she doesn't have someone like George on her tribe that's going to call that out.
There's only one George. I don't think there'll
Yeah,
be anyone
that's
like him.
all right. So Austin, your next pick.
All right, I want to lock up this player. It's another archetype I really enjoy when I watch Survivors, and it is a male. I'm gonna get my last male, and it's gonna be Kent. I usually root for the older guys. He gives me. I mean, the last two seasons I've been rooting for the older gents. I mean, I'm forgetting his name, but he was Ferris's like right hand man.
Garrick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Gabe,
was
yeah.
very mad when he went home, and then the season before that, the guy got to the final three, and I knew he wasn't going to win. But I mean, I always root for this type of architect. I mean, I was reading his bio too. He's been watching this show for 25 years. I mean, he wants to play like David. I mean, sure, you're giving yourself some high expectations, and let's be honest, 90% of the time you don't hit those expectations. But I mean, he seems like he's going to be a fun player to watch, and I'm all about the guy who gets up at 4:40 a.m. to hit the gym. So he's going to be on my team.
Yeah, Kent, the praying mantis, as he says in the promos, that he's licking his fingers. I'm interested. I mean, he's like what, a millionaire? Like that. I'm a little worried for that though too, because like I obviously don't brag about how much money you have. That's number one. Because nobody likes you to brag about having a lot of money. I'm worried that he could do that, but we'll have to see how he actually ends up playing.
Yeah, Kent was a like borderline one for me. Whereas I think he's going to be really fun, but I don't know whether it's going to be long term fun or a short little fling. Both kinds of fun are really good, but I'm not sure which one it's going to be. Yeah, I definitely think Kent is one of the ones from the promos I've seen is like definitely a big player in the early game, and I could see him making it further. And yeah, definitely don't mention that you're a millionaire. Be a bit more under the radar about it. Uh, Kent was going to be I've already took one wild card, so I'm kind of glad my second wild card pick got taken. I don't need too many wild cards on my brain tribe, so now I just get to pick two
Yeah.
stable choices, I think.
Yeah, so now we have one man left on the Brains tribe and three women. So, Michael, you get the next two picks. What's your next one?
Well, my number one still remained. I'm so relieved. I'm going with Indy,
Yeah.
who was a businesswoman, but also a stand-up. That was the main thing that drew me to her. And she says, on a scale of one to crazy competitive, I'm probably psycho. So that was the quote that sold me on Indy, and she was my second choice female player. I already got my first one in the
Yeah.
Witch.
Yeah, Indy's a good pick. Also, interestingly enough, it's come out since the before the show as well, that she got stage 4 cancer, I believe. Um Yeah, after the show. So, um, I don't know if she was dealing with that while on the show, but that is incredibly crazy if she like already had it in her system at that point. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that story, but like I said, I don't like to look too much into things. So, but I didn't realize it was indie that story was about. So that's crazy. But
yeah,
hopefully she's okay.
yeah, I
Or
hope
going
so
to be
too.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was eyeing her for the way back, but yeah, she seems like the type of person I would hang out with on that island. She has a lot of the cool like I mean, if you're any comedian, I mean, I like to be entertained and laugh and I like attention. And if you're a comedian, you're gonna probably give me that all day. So,
Yeah,
I mean, she seems like she'd be cool to be around. I personally am excited to watch her play more than most on this tribe, but yeah, we'll see how she does. I don't really have too many opinions on her though.
yeah. I hope she does well. But again, I'm not sure with the story coming out again if how far she necessarily makes it either. So
Yeah, that's fair. If that's like a big thing with her, who knows when it like when it starts hitting her, you know what I mean? It could have been after the show, it could be during the show. I mean,
yeah,
it'll time will tell.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, hope she's okay again. Like, yeah.
For sure.
So
Also, one last thing on her. She has this line in her bio that says, "I'm a black Muslim bisexual who grew up in Townsville. I've been voted out of tribes my entire life. I'm ready for this."
that's a good
Just
line.
such a good line.
All right, Michael, you get another pick. There's two women and one man left.
I am gonna go for Kaylin.
Yeah,
I'll take the last man off the board, and I even myself up, I think. Kalen was my next in line. I think, find his bio. A PhD student. And again, he's got a bit of brawn about him. Used to play rugby a lot. Also, I was going to say also professional stand-up. The sentence doesn't end. He's a professional stand-up paddleboarder. That's a different thing entirely. But yeah, I think he's someone that can survive. I'm just mainly looking for people that can survive that early onslaught
yeah.
where people are just getting thrown out of the game left and right. So if he can make it to merge, I could see him going deep. So he was my next pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I actually thought Austin was taking Kalen when he took Kent. So I was like, I thought that was like that would just like be right on the money for you, Austin. But like I feel like the
Really? I did not want him.
oh
So
really?
that I was glad
We
you
don't have him.
said him.
Yeah, I mean his archetype, I guess, in general, like the like from looks, I guess maybe the guy with the long hair, the man bun. I feel like they tend to do pretty well in the early going. Yeah, I mean, and he's smart, clearly. I feel like from his bio, I remember him talking about like he can bond with either side, like he can bond with the other nerdy people, but he can also bond with the sporty people. So I think that bodes well for him in the early going. I think he will at least make it to the swap, and then at that point, we'll see if he can make it to merge. But I don't see him being one of those really early boots.
He also
Um,
cites Haley as his favorite player, and he wants to play her game, but also improve on it. Which can you really improve on it?
yeah, I
She's
mean,
she won.
right, that's true. And she played in a dominating fashion. I mean, you could technically say she got voted out, but that was also just like Brains versus Brawn had so many BS twists.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully less this time.
yeah. Any other thoughts there, or we ready to have Austin technically pick the last pick of the Brains tribe, and I'm left with whoever's on the board.
I don't really have any other thoughts on who was it, Kalen? I don't even know who he is. I couldn't even remember his name. Um, I know who I want, so if we're going into it, I mean, I have between two choices, and one completely resonates with my interest way more than the other. So I'm gonna go with Zara.
Yeah. Yeah, I that would have been my next pick if I was in your position. Because I feel like Zara's an interesting uh person to look at. She is one of the oldest people on the tribe, and the older women tend to do pretty well in Survivor. I mean, they make it to the end a lot of the times. So, and some of them win. So, I think Zara could do pretty well.
I mean, I just cheerleader. I thought that was really cool. I mean, when you're on a bronze tribe, you don't think like, oh, I was a cheerleader, like that type of industry when you're thinking brains. And I was reading with what she does with her career. I mean, she seems like she's got a shit ton of experience with like the business side of the world. And that's like, I look at all this and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly the type of person I'd probably be rooting for out here. So she definitely fits my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if she could find her footing in the game and get herself in like a solid alliance, she could be like a Caroline kind of player.
Oh yeah.
That if she can really bet herself in, I could see her going far for sure.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, I somehow we all ended up evening up guys and girls on the Brains tribe. That ended up actually happening. So I am left with Allie, and she would have been my last pick on the board anyway. I just one thing from her bio, she says she is a loudmouth, and that is very worrying because loudmouths that kind of just say whatever comes to their mind don't tend to do well in Survivor. That gets them cut rather early. So. I'm a little worried that she could definitely be an easy first boot off this tribe.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that for sure. I didn't really get to read hers too much because I didn't really have any interest
Mhm.
after I read like that she was an AI expert. But I mean, the one thing I did catch though is that she says she works in a very male dominant like career field. So if there is any good flag in that, it's that she can probably fit in with the dudes if
Right.
there's like a bro out happening or like I mean it happens in Survivor, so who knows? I don't know if it's gonna happen on this tribe specifically, but I mean if she's a loudmouth, I'm hoping that she is like a villain loudmouth personally, but
The only thing that really resonated with me, I was like, okay, I kind of like her. I wasn't sure, but she lives in North Queensland with her pet kangaroo.
Oh, yeah.
Just has a pet kangaroo, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how it translates to Survivor, but these are the kinds of things that make me like you.
I mean, she can bring up interesting facts. It reminds me of Shawnee and All Stars was like talking about how she would go up to strangers' dogs and then just immediately pet them. Sometimes people like those kinds of stories where you just have something odd happen to you and makes people laugh. So
Yeah.
all right, so that is the Brains tribe. We're on the Brawn tribe, so I get the first pick for the Brawn tribe. And I kind of had this person up for on the board for me based on looks because I wanted to pick a hot person. I'm going with Kate.
oh fuck. What is wrong with you?
Kate.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
still in the game.
I I think she's attractive for one. I think that can definitely help. You know, uh, especially other guys like having that around, or girls in some cases. So I don't know. I could see Kate doing really well, or I could see her being an early boot because people could think she's the next Parvati. So that happens to very many women in Survivor now. So, yeah, Kate
Well,
is,
see, she's hot. She has the random ass job of being a DJ and a dancer. I
yeah,
mean, I would literally let her string me around the island. I'm not even gonna lie. So, I mean, you had a great first choice because that was probably my first choice. I was reading this. I do like people to see me as my Instagram self rather than my real self. I thought that was hilarious. I was like she definitely knows she's pretty and she's gonna use that shit to her advantage. So yeah, she's
absolutely.
probably gonna be my whole outfit is just to look like a girly girl. Like she definitely knows that she's hot, like that's in her head. So
Right.
she's gonna be a fun one. And she's probably gonna be like a Parvati-ish type player. You're probably right.
Yeah, agreed. Michael.
the only thing that dropped Kate down lower on my list was she talks about her OCD, and I think if she gets super like needing things to be organized, like in the early stages when you're building the shelter and you're trying to have that, you don't want to be in that role where you're being super vocal. So if she can avoid doing that, I think she has a real good shot. Um, but it's whether or not she has that under control to be able to rein that in. Because if she is super vocal about that stuff, that could be something that puts a target on her back immediately.
Absolutely agree with that. Um, all right, Austin, your first pick from the Brawn tribe.
I'm choosing mine based on the exact same criteria Jake just did. This is the Kate isn't the one that caught my eye though. It's Morgan who caught my eye, and that's who I'm going with is my
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, I've seen Morgan get picked first by a lot of the drafts I've seen. She definitely seems like she is going to be a really good player. And I think in the promos, she's like seen calling people out, so that'll be fun. Um, yeah, and I believe she's also now pregnant after the show, and that
Oh, me.
actually, I think that's actually a good omen because I think Liz was pregnant right after Heroes versus Villains, and I I think someone else might have been, but it's
Harris.
yeah.
What would you do if you won money? Would you pop a baby immediately?
True.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
But no, I thought she was a really spicy player from literally what you were just talking about. Like she sounds like she's gonna be really fun calling people out. She's gonna be really, head in the game. I mean, when you're an Olympian and you're an athlete, you are competitive as hell. You are driven. That is why I like Morgan a lot. She seems like she's gonna be really out there and maybe she uses her looks there and there, but that's not gonna be her game. It's gonna be the competitiveness in her. She's really gonna play that game and that like she specifically is probably my favorite person that I'm going to be watching this season. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Michael?
Yeah, I think Morgan's a better pick than my pick, but Morgan was my second pick on the tribe, so I've still managed to keep mine up in the air. But I think Morgan's a fantastic pick, and I could see her doing really, really well. And yeah, she's an Olympian. Again, kind of looking at previous archetypes, like maybe like a
Liz.
Viola. Oh, Liz, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I was thinking back to Titans versus Rebels, like Viola had that,
Oh,
just
that's true.
super, um, buff, strong female player, and unfortunately got fought out way before anyone wanted her to. We all thought
Yeah.
she was going to last way longer. So hopefully Morgan's more of a Liz and last longer than Viola did. Uh, but yeah, I'm glad my pick's still there, even though it's purely with my heart and not my head.
changed up a little bit. All right.
Yeah. So I'm going for Candy.
Yeah. Okay, so we all went for our crushes. All right.
That is
Of course.
completely hilarious.
Oh my
Like that was my absolute number one. I was like, I gotta do it. I'm nothing if not everyone keeps talking about my crushes. It's getting out of hand, but I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. She's so beautiful. And I actually think she's someone that has a real good shot of making it really far into the game. I think her social game will be really good. And I think she's a real dark horse to actually make it to the end and win. It's a hard pick, but I actually think she has a real shot for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I like Candy. I think again someone that maybe could use her looks to her advantage, but I don't think she's going to use it as much as like Kate is going to. So I think Candy might be like a more well-rounded player. So I think that's a good pick.
yeah, she gives me like Courtney
Though
vibe from was it China? Is
Fine
that
and Heroes versus Villains. Yeah.
yeah, just at first glance and at reading a little bit about her. I definitely could see her being that type of character who's going to be creative in her approach in the game, going to do things her way, probably do things other people's ways, and then change it up. I mean, I don't want to 100% compare her to Courtney because that's just what I have on my mind. But I mean, she seems like she's gonna be an interesting character, as in the strategy side of things. I think she could definitely be a dark horse after reading some of this, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Courtney's one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, I agree with that comparison. Also, like I keep comparing Titans versus Rebels, but we're coming off the back of it, like maybe like a Valeria,
Mhm.
who also came in just looking, beautiful, and people didn't think too much more of her than that, and she ended up being this really great strategic powerhouse in the game. So I definitely think she has the makings of that, and she's also a super fan. She had a Survivor themed eighth birthday party with DIY challenges. So this is something again that she's wanted to do for a very long time, and yeah, I'm very glad I managed to get Candy.
Yeah, it's a good pick. All right, you get another pick, the fourth pick off the Brawn tribe. We still have all the men on this tribe left and three women.
Well, I did it the first round where I took a wild card. I'm taking another wild card. I got some good picks in there. I'm taking him off the board. The absolute maniac that is Nash. I I think he's making it out of the first week? Probably not. But what if he did? What if he did? The guy finds an idol, he wears it around his neck, he's walking into challenges with it. This guy is not long for the game, but I've got picks to spare. I've got my good ones in, I've got my winners in. I can take Nash. And again, I just love someone that comes in and provides so much entertainment like that. Like, I appreciate players like that. I got to pick him.
Yeah, well, I love flashy players too, so I'll be entertained and I may end up loving him depending on what happens. I believe he's also friends with Ferris, so I hope if we can get Ferris on the podcast again to recap with us, Ferris can talk about Nash with us, and so I'm excited from that perspective. And maybe Nash has learned a few things from Ferris, so love to see.
I
Austin.
mean, yeah, I was trying to think of something to say with him. He's probably one of the least people I'm like ready to watch this season. I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of seeing the freaking idol shit and whatever he's doing. I kind of hope he just goes home with it in his pocket first. Like that'd be really funny.
Around his
Uh,
neck, like Russell.
I think you will.
I just want to see something crazy happen to him, but no, I mean he seems genuine to the fact that he really wants to push a game of Survivor out there. I mean, we'll see how it goes for him. If whatever they keep speculating on the first episode goes well for him, it might actually put him in a decent spot, or it just throws a complete target on him. So again, I just have no opinion on him until I figure out what the hell this promo of him is for. But I mean, I personally want to see it go all wrong. That'd be really fun.
I'm excited to see what happens. All right, Austin, your next pick.
All right, this might be a little left field for me. I look at this cast and I think to myself, the dudes are all dads, man, except one guy, and I'm like, who do I feel like could connect in this type of group? You know what I mean? Like who have we not picked yet that I think could benefit from like this part of the game really well? And I keep going back to Kristen, and I think I'm gonna choose her.
All right. Is it just because of our Kristen?
I literally didn't even think about that until I said that her name. I'm not gonna lie, but no, I mean she's a firefighter. She cares about like when you're a firefighter, you obviously you care about other people when you're in that type of field. You really are there to help others, and like you when you think of a firefighter, they're very tough individuals. So she's gonna be very impactful for this team, not only physically, but she's gonna be a mental horse. I mean people like in this field are up a lot of the time at night. They are up a lot of the time in the morning. She's probably going to be an early bird, or a late night, owl. Who knows? Like I, I just keep looking at all these like I keep reading all these guys' bios. I'm a dad. I'm father figure and blah blah. And I'm like, if they kind of group together or they like get some kind of majority, or even if Kristen just kind of blends in the middle. I mean, I don't see how she doesn't get out of the early stage of this game unless she's just that physically like behind everyone else. That's the only thing I can see. So, I mean, I see her doing well. I'm interested to see her social game. But other than that, she's definitely my left field pick that I'm taking here. But yeah.
Yeah, I think she's a good pick. I mean, firefighters historically have done very well. Tom Westman and Jeremy Collins won the game. Keith Nail made it far twice. Like, I mean, I think that means Kristen might be destined to go far. So,
Yeah, I
Michael?
could see her going far in the game. She also has a fun quote in her bio where she says, "A common misconception about me is that my kindness is a weakness. I'm kind because I think it's nice to be kind, but if you don't deserve my kindness, I cut you forever."
That's why you're on the GOAT team, baby.
Yeah,
That's why. I love it.
yeah, yeah. Very good pick. All right, so I have two in a row. My next pick. Yeah, he's the dad, it seems like, but I think he seems like he might be pretty even keel. I'm picking Ben, the stonemason. I I think he's going to be an asset physically, and yeah, I think like having a pretty even keel guy is going to be very useful to have around as like both an ally and helping you out in the game. So
Oh yeah, I have like a board of people I have up right now, and he was one of them. I kept going back to looking at his bio. He seems like he's a down to earth dude. When you have teenagers, you're probably more prone to understanding people in their 20s a little better than younger dads. So he's probably going to fit well in this group. And I mean, at the end of the day, he seems like the down to earth guys are usually the ones that the girls are a little more lenient to work with. Because when you're just an egotistical asshole dude, I mean, let's be honest, you're probably either getting the crazy whack job women or you're probably just screwed and we're gonna say bye bye to you. So I mean he seems like a good fit on this tribe to do well.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Michael?
Yeah, for sure. He was one of like my middle of the road picks. I was unsure of. I did like that he says he wants to play a malleable game, and adjust on the fly. And like I think players that don't go in with a real set strategy and are more open like that could find themselves doing well. You never know what survivor's going to throw at you. So I could see him doing well for sure.
Yeah, he kind of gives me Croc vibes from Blood versus Water. And like I really liked Croc, and then Croc just got blindsided out of nowhere. So right before merge. So it could happen to Ben, but the hope is that that does not happen. Um, all right, and then I get the next pick, and then I think what I might be done until the end. But I'm gonna go with Polly, the younger Polly. I think again, someone who's gonna be physically useful in the challenges seems like he might be a fun character. I think he'll be able to bond with the younger women pretty well. So I'll go with Polly.
Yeah, he was probably going to be he was going to be one of the two that I was just going to decide on. So that's a good pick because one thing I know about city people is they are very what's not malicious, but they in a game like Survivor, I can see Polly doing well with a group of strangers, like connective wise, and not caring like if they cut their throats. You know what I mean? Like I always see city people as this. I look at my parents and they're out in the boonies, and I go out to their bars and there's like five people and they just get pissed drunk. But then you go to the city and there's like 50 people. You see crackheads on the street, and I'm just like, that's normal. See ya. Hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like Polly's gonna see these people and he's not gonna think anything differently, right? If he's this big of a city boy as he says he is, he's gonna be like, well, they're all just here, have a good time. I'm gonna get to know everybody. Let's hang. Like I definitely see him being connective, like you say, with the girls. And yeah, I like that pick.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, Paulie was my next number one pick of who I had left. I think Paulie's going to make it deep into the game. I could see him doing really well. He says, for my job, I must connect with people quickly and make them feel at ease. So I think if he's got that social game, and he quotes Simon Mee as one of his survivor idols, the challenge beast of the previous Brain versus Brawn. Hopefully, he doesn't grab with two idols in his pocket. Um, I could see him making a fire.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely see him as the Simon. Also, hopefully, he's not Simon from his second time, where he's just kind of the lovable doof. I love Simon, so he also has been a guest on the podcast. But I kind of hope that Paulie doesn't end up going the route that Simon did the second time either. Uh, all right, so Austin, your next pick.
Ah, man, oh man. I'll just go with the guy that I was going between. I really want a bro-y type person. I feel like I'm lacking bros. Um, Jesse gives me the skateboarding bro
Yeah,
type feeling here. I'm 100% going off vibes here because I'm coming to a point where I'm not too big on having anyone else on my team, but um yeah, he says he's a relaxed dude. He hits the beach, high tie, like, dude, come on my team, come on, go team goat and see what happens.
heck yeah, yeah. This pick I kind of expected that you would pick. But again, Jesse seems pretty chill. Wants to make people laugh and have fun, which is something that can be very good for a tribe. To keep them entertained, people tend to want to not be bored out there, so they want to keep someone like that around. So he could do very well, or he can end up annoying people with that too. So it could go either way with him.
Yeah, Jesse was someone I was considering picking. I do see him as someone that maybe like a Mexican Parma John,
Yeah,
um, champs versus contenders too, just like a good Aussie bloke. I could see him having that kind of personality and getting far because everyone just likes him. So yeah, I think that's a really solid pick to at least make merge.
yeah, agreed. All right. Uh, Michael, you get the next two picks. Your last two, I believe.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take male and female because why not? I'm gonna take Zen because he's a hip hop artist, and I'm hip. I'm down with the kids. I can pick a hip hop artist. Why not? I think we've had Zen Hen. Now we've just got Zen.
Yes,
Austin
yeah,
literally
he
has his
lost
head in his
the
hands.
I'm dead.
Uh, no, I could see Zen making it far. I think he could have what it takes to make good connections and find his place within the tribe. But
Yeah,
again, I'm in that position where I'm like, I'm not like super excited about him, but I'll take him.
right, right. Yeah, Austin.
I like Zen as a person. I liked his entire bio. I get afraid that he's too young for this tribe and that he's not gonna fit in. That's my biggest thing. I actually think he's gonna fit in really well with the other tribe. So if he makes a merge and some of their young, like players that I'm thinking make it, I think he does well, like you're saying. But I really hope he fits in on this tribe because if not, he's like, for example, if they're all afraid of Nash playing as idol, like I could see Zen being an easy throwaway player. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know. That's where because I was gonna take him like instead of Jesse, but I was like, I always root for the young ones, but they always screw me. So maybe hopefully he changes the opinion of young players for me. But I mean, I like him as a person. I love that he's a hip hop artist. I just have no idea how he's gonna do on this tribe.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like with the parents and the older people on this tribe, yeah, he could definitely be an easy outsider. So We'll have to see how he does. He has not been shown that much in the promos either. So that's another concern. But again, we've also
Doesn't bode well.
what was that?
Doesn't bode well.
Oh yeah, but doesn't bode well. Yeah, that's what I thought you said. But yeah, I think I mean I feel like we've seen people not do well in the that haven't been in the promos do well, or we've seen it both ways. So who knows? All right, Michael, your last pick of the draft.
I'm torn between two. And the only reason I'm torn is because I like the job title of one of them, but I'm not going to go with that. I've got too many wild cards. So I'm going to go with Ursula. She's a power lifter. Again, we've got an Olympian, we've got a power lifter. And I feel like that's something that's going to keep her insulated in the Brawn tribe for the early game. And then who knows? I don't know how her social and strategic game is going to be, but if she can get through that early part of the game and she's got good social skills and a good strategic mind, maybe she's someone that could go far.
Yeah, I could see it. Again, someone who's going to be a massive asset early on. She reminds me of Lydia from Champions versus Contenders and All Stars, but Lydia never made jury, so I could see Ursula also not making jury. So her being so physically strong is not a guarantee that she's going to make it through. Austin.
I mean, she was going to be the person I was going to pick. I'm sorry, I was looking at the other two people's bios. Ursula, I mean, she seems like she's going to be the nice, like, I see the word bubbly. I keep looking at it. I definitely like, I look at her and I look at the type of person she talks about herself as. I definitely see bubbly as a great word that fits her. I like that her husband was an ex NRL player, and I like that she's extremely like into athletics and health. I mean, a fitness and nutrition coach is literally the description of like what I went to get my master's for. So I was really interested in her. I just fear that she being too bubbly is going to be too quiet, and I mean, who knows? If she also says she's very honest, sometimes too honest. I mean, hopefully you're not too honest about telling someone they're being an ass or that they're going home because it could definitely flip on you. But I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I like her as a character too. I don't know. We'll see how she does for sure. She could be fun. I feel like she'll be like, she could also fit into the category of floater, but I mean, again, I have no idea. I haven't seen her game obviously yet, so just speculation.
Yeah, I think she's the best of the three left on the board. But yeah, let's get into that. Austin, who are you picking and leaving me with?
So we'll just talk about the two since there's only two left. I'm looking at obviously it's PD versus Laura.
Or Noonan as she goes by, yeah.
Huh?
Or Noonan as she goes by.
She goes by Noonan. All right, we'll go with Noonan then. So I mean, you look at PD. I mean, he fits the entire criteria of what I like. I mean, he's literally a coach. Very athletic. When I'm reading his bio, he's extremely talking about as if he's a coach. Like he literally is talking about plan A, plan B, as in like there's different plans for a game. I thought it was funny that he says he's gonna miss his dog more than his kids. And then I mean I go to Noonie and she seems a little more serious. I mean she sounds like she's got her head in the game for the game. Everyone in her family's pretty athletic. Um, I don't know what a footy fanatic is. So I
Well,
couldn't
I
tell
don't know
you.
what fanatic means. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of job that is, but
Everyone knows my
What?
family, and then there's me, and nobody knows who I am unless you come down to the footy club.
Yeah, football club. So footy fanatic is just a football fan, but that's not a job. Like I'm a
yeah.
footy fanatic. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know why that's a job title. That's why I was like almost going to pick her because who puts that as your title? She's just a
Uh,
football fan, apparently.
yeah. Yeah.
maybe she does like content online talking about. Actually, we're picking Noonan. I like that. We're gonna go with Noonan.
All
I
right.
was about to pick PD, but after you explain that to me, I'm picking Noonan.
All right. I mean, I'm a little worried again. She talks all about like having this famous family. I don't know. I almost think people could think she's embellishing a few things there if she talks about that. I will say she is actually on a tribe with Jesse, whose last name is also Noonan, but they're not related. Uh,
Right.
so that could be very interesting. That could be something they connect with because if she's going to go by Noonan, because there's two Lauras, then Jesse's going to be like, oh, hey, my last name's Noonan, like immediately. So that's an immediate connection. Either people can immediately clock that when they know that, or, they could be a decent alliance for a little bit. So,
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm just like, I would usually pick a player like PD, but I'd rather root for PD and then have Laura on my or Noonan on my team if she does well. Like I think she could probably possibly do. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Yep. Michael, any thoughts on Noonan?
I think she's the best out of the two. I don't see this going well for Jake, but yeah, I think she's interesting. Again, having something to prove that whole thing of if her entire family's in the public eye. I don't know much about the Noonan family, by which I mean I don't know anything about the Noonan family. But I guess they're famous in Australia, and this is her chance to stand on her own 2 feet. So yeah, that could be like a something to prove that's going to drive her forward.
PD also is like I feel like I've never seen him before. I looked online here, so I don't know if he's been on any of those. I just don't like he's not a memorable person to me. I keep looking at it. I keep forgetting his bio, and I'm just like I don't know, man. I do like that he's inspired to play like Kirby. I was extremely liking that one, but I mean, other than that in his profession, I was just like whatever. I mean, I already have Kent on my team. I kind of also didn't want to do two of the older guys of the tribes on the same, fantasy team.
Yeah, the two older bald men. Like, it's just crazy because I look at some of their like the stuff Australia's releasing. I'm like, they're literally showing the same person twice. I just feel like they look so similar.
This is literally the same picture.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm curious. I don't get like longevity from PD. So I'm very worried. Maybe being a coach could be a bit of an asset for like inspiring the younger people on the tribe. But he's also on a tribe with quite a few older people, which could either be really good because he can connect to the older people, or it could be bad because they don't want to, hear him coach them. So. I can see it going either way. I can see PD being a very early boot. So,
He
yeah.
could he could also be a floater.
True.
That was the other aspect I was kind of looking at him as like maybe he doesn't take the high road as a coach and he kind of lets people do their thing. Like maybe he understands he's not the brainiac of the tribe or something. You know what I mean? And he kind of just lets everyone else do their thing and he goes along. I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't know. I do not see PD taking over the tribe and going out. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because PD is literally like a type of character I would really love. I just don't know how he does on this tribe. He literally sells beer day to day and then coaches soccer at night. And like why would I not love this man? So I will love him not on my team though.
That's fair. All right. Well, we have our teams for Australian Survivor Brains versus Brawn 2. Let's go over them real quick. So, Team Jake is Miles, Rich, Karen, Allie, Kate, Ben, Polly, and PD. Austin, your team is Logan, AJ, Kent, Zara, Morgan, Kristen, Jesse, and Noonan. And Michael, your team is Laura, Max, Indy, Kaylin, Candy, Nash, Zen, and Ursula. So that is the squads as they are. Do we want to make predictions for which two or three people are going to be early boots in this first week? Or
Nash.
yeah, I could definitely see it.
Oh God, let me pull up what I freaking
I
had.
wouldn't be surprised if Nash and Kent go quite
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, I could definitely see them out of like the promo people. They would be like crazy early flame outs. So
Yeah. Like in Michael, in Heroes versus Villains, where
yeah,
it's like just super out the gate, and backfires massively. We have also seen players, come out and play really hard, and it does work for them. I mean, George did that. AK is someone who blew his game up completely and then managed to get it back on track. It still didn't make much, but managed to get some control in there. So who knows? Maybe Nash can bring it back, but I'm doubtful, even though I picked him.
yeah, you picked him, so I did not expect it.
I
Um,
wanted some wild cards.
Austin, any predictions?
I'm going with Zen, going home week one. Um, I also, if on the other side, I'd probably pick Allie.
Yeah,
Those are probably my two least like think just in my head, two least likely to fit in and make it out of the week one stage.
yeah,
I mean, it's so hard to predict, you know what I mean? Like you watch all these promos that boost certain people, and then you go into the season and like an Australian Survivor, it's such a longer haul than USA. So some people they just are sick and tired of. They kind of just toss you to the side, or if a group is kind of like a boys' club, they just get rid of that whole entire group. I mean, I'm just going off of what I think, and I think a younger player on the Brains could go quick like Zen, or I think like someone on sorry, on bronze like Zen, or on the Brains someone that probably would be on the outside like Allie, or I mean I kind of like that tribe, so I don't really know who would go home first other than her. So I mean I'll be interested to see what happens.
yeah. I'm too. So I would say for me, I think it's Ali or Kent from Brains, or it is I honestly think Nash or PD from the Brawn tribe. So but we'll have to see. I'm excited. I
We'll
think it's
see.
gonna be good. So any final things to say before we close out the draft, our kickoff to our return to Australian Survivor?
Let's do this. I'm so excited. I'm so glad it's back.
Yeah, yeah, I am too. So it's been a long time coming. So and we'll have guests during the season, hopefully. We're already locking that up. So you'll see them when we have them on, hopefully, and otherwise you'll see us three from week to week and talking about our favorite game. So with that, we will see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.